much for coming to the5project.com. I am so excited that you looked at the website. My name is Willie Mears, and I would love nothing more than to be able to come and speak life into your group or life into your event. I bring a message of hope. I bring a message of peace. I bring a message of living a standard in a time and a day whenever living a standard is not a popular message. But the most important message that I bring is a message for young people to stand up and recognize the identity that Christ has given them, the identity that they have through Jesus Christ, who they really are. I would love nothing more for this generation to rise up and start the revival that God so desperately wants to burn inside of our culture and inside of our city. So if you would, just take some time, look at the contact information. You can email me at willie.mears@yahoo.com. There's a Twitter link on the website. You can get in touch with me, and I want to come and I want to bring a message of life.
That may be true. You may not be where you want to be. You may not be where you should be. But you're not where you used to be. You're doing better than you think you are. Somebody needs to hear that in here. You're doing better than you think you are because you're not where you used to be. Look what the end of the story says. In verse 9 and 10, it says, when all the people saw him walking and praising God, they recognized him as the same man who used to sit begging at the temple gate called Beautiful. And they were filled with wonder and amazement at what happened to him. Can you imagine whenever they're standing there and they see the man that was crippled, walking and praising and jumping and shouting? And they're like, is that old crippled Jack? He's been crippled for years, and now he's walking and praising. Can you imagine when people walk into the Connection and they see Kyle? Like, man, 5 years ago I saw him partying at Club 7, and then I saw him get up and walk out, and he's never been the same since. He experienced a turnaround. Can you imagine people walk in here and they see Carrie and they say, my Lord, isn't that the same girl that used to party all the time, and now she's running hard after God? And can you imagine whenever somebody comes in here and they see your life and they saw who you used to be, but you may not be where you should be. You may not be where you want to be. You may not be where you've dreamt about. You may not be preaching to thousands of people like God promised you in your heart, but you're not where you used to be. You're not where you were a couple of years ago. You're not where you were a few months ago. You're not where you were last week. You're doing better than you think you are. There's some of you in here that need to hear that. But more than anything, you've got to surround yourself with the right people. You've got to put yourself in the right environment. You've got to come expecting God to do something in your life. And then after you've done everything else, you've got to step out in faith, and you've got to do something impossible. Nobody ever got to do anything great because something was handed to them. When Jesus stepped out of the boat into the area of the Gadarenes in Matthew chapter 8, verse 28, he was walking in the authority of someone bigger than him. Whenever he stepped out of that boat, he was no longer just a man, but he was God, and he was God's son. And there are so many of you that have walked into areas of maybe your campus, your work, your family, your relationship, whatever it is that's been off limits by the enemy. You've walked in with an identity that's not right. Your mind isn't right in thinking of who you are. And I just want to talk to you tonight, and I just want to tell you, my hope is that you know who you are, that you walk in the authority of someone that is bigger than you.